Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be the Demons of Chaos led by Alls facing off against Norsca, who's going to be helmed by Outer Region here on the Proving Grounds. Now, as far as the Chaos build goes, I guess they're both Chaos, but Demons of Chaos, it's going to be Plague Bearers, and Exalted Plague Bearers at that. So it's going to be double Exalted Plague Bearer, one standard, and I think there is the Festering Stooges, which are probably one of the best infantry units in general. They're just like super good. So these guys have great combat stats, 48 with magic and poison, 50 melee defense, 52 weapon strength, solid leadership, so you don't really have to worry about demonic crumbling. And when they're in combat, when they're in melee, they heal and also resurrect dead models. It's crazy good. Anyways, Plague Bearers, what do they bring to the table? They hit very hard against lightly armored targets. So if you're expecting Berserkers, Marauders, those type of things, they can certainly do work. And one of the nice applications demons have against Norsca is that Norsca gets physical resist from fighting with their enrage mechanic, and demons just don't care about that at all. So certainly a nice little niche they have. And the Holy Hand Grenades certainly have some applications. Now, on the other side of the coin, the one thing that Plague Bearer type units might struggle against would be Marauder Champions, because they do lack a little bit of armor piercing. We got some pinks here. Pinks do good fire damage, so you can shoot them at Skin Wolves and Javelins and Marauder Berserkers, and that's pretty much what you're going to be looking to do there. Up in the sky, it's going to be a big terror-causing monster. We have the Exalted Lord of Chicken, and he's going to be coming in with the blue and pink fire. Pink fire, of course, is very good for clearing out infantry, and blue fire is good for sniping lords and characters. And also, the thing about blue fire that people don't often recognize is that it's if you go down the side of an infantry unit. So, for example, if we're looking at the Chromatic Abominations, if you were to park like right where my mouse is and shoot it, it can actually do a lot of damage. Very similar to a pink fire. Granted, a pink fire would be more cost-effective against light armor, whereas casting down the line against like Marauder Champions with blue would be better because blue fire has better armor piercing values. So that's pretty much it for the army. Yeah, just Plague Bearer City with a couple Tzeentch units mixed in and a Tzeentch Lord. And for the army here of Outer Region, it's going to be very standard Norsca, right? We got Wulfric, who is pretty good against Demons of Chaos. He does great damage against light armor, and that's Demons of Chaos in a nutshell, basically. You have a Familiar Balefiend of Fire, so Burning Head in tandem with the Seafang is super good here. Like melting those Plague Bearers and Tzeentch Demons is going to be very strong. Marauders, Berserkers, and basic Marauders, Javelins in the back are always a good, I think, contingency plan. Not only can they throw and put some pressure on the Exalted Lord of Change, but when I play Demons of Chaos, I often come in with a Great Unclean One. The Exalted Great Unclean One is my Lord for the Mortis Engine effect, so having the Javelins to drag down such monsters, I think, is very wise. Now, far side objective, we do have some Flesh Hounds looking to maybe duke it out here. No, Nurglings, actually. Okay. So Nurglings against Norsca and Ice Wolves. I think the Ice Wolves might be able to find a way to win that. It's hard to say. I guess if they did some cycle charging, although Nurglings in sustained combat will certainly drag them down. Yeah, we'll have to keep a tab on that Mortal Kombat. Objective going to be opening up here, and it looks like we do get some, wow, that actually did a lot of damage against those Berserkers. That must have been the Exalted Lord of Change with a pink fire here. And Wulfric's going to be getting tagged with what appears to be a blue, and he takes some damage. You can see, man, the Tzeentch magic is certainly no joke. Now, on this objective, we're going to be having the Plague Bearers, probably throwing the Holy Hand Grenades. Let's see. So the Holy Hand Grenades of Nurgle are coming out, throwing those footballs. Look at those football arms. And yeah, that did a lot of damage, actually. Those Berserkers get wrecked pretty good. Other Plague Bearers going to be moving in, and the Demons of Chaos are preparing to engage against Norsca here on the far side. Now on the objective here in the middle, it looks like Norsca is going to be taking the initiative on this one. Pink Horrors are forced to retreat with the pressure from Wulfric. A couple Exalted Plague Bearers putting a little Holy Hand Grenade fire down, and I don't hate the sniping of Wulfric. It's a little bit of a tough one. Is it better to use your Winds of Magic to clear out the Norscan infantry, or try and finish off Wulfric over the course of a long game? Tough choices, but both are viable for sure. Here we get some Furies being called out. These are from the Portal Glyph, so the Exalted Lord of Change has the ability to summon Furies temporarily, and pretty cost effective. They're able to mulch some HP off these Marauder Javelins, so it certainly doesn't hurt. As the Pinks try and get in position once again to shoot at the Marauder Berserkers, far side objective is going to be taken by Nurgling, so it looks like the Hounds did end up backing off when the Chaos player, or Alls, did call in the Flesh Hounds of Khorne to chase them away. Now, over towards objective number 3, it looks like it's firmly in control of Norsca, but probably not for long. The Plague Bearers are winning their fight against the Berserkers, who took the Holy Hand Grenades and a little bit of Tzeentch firepower. And Exalted Plague Bearers here should be able to get through Marauders no problem. Nice chasing, though. Marauder Berserkers shutting down the Chromatic Abominations, but people often forget that Tzeentch Demons are kind of quick. 38 speed should be able to kite these Berserkers, and the Plague Bearers of Nurgle are going to come in. Look at that. The Chaos Gods working in harmony, everybody holding hands, having a good time. You gotta love it. And Plague Bearers are going to apply poison to them, which is going to slow them down to the point where the Tzeentch Demons should be able to get away. So yeah, very cost effective. Marauder Berserkers down to 31 speed, and they're going to be taking some casualties during the process. But here, Exalted Plague Bearers and the other Plague Bearers are about to win their fight. We do get some Norse controls coming in, which is quite good. Norse controls hit relatively hard, and they can regenerate pretty well also. So yeah, they could be a bit of a problem. Granted, Plague Bearers also hit hard too, so. Far side objective, Demons of Chaos own it. Middle objective, currently owned by Norsca, but there is some heavy pressure coming on as the Exalted Lord of Change does back up his Plague Bears here, but it looks like they're a little bit surrounded, although these are the Exalted Plague Bears, so I think they should end up winning this fight versus these Berserkers as well as these Marauders. It's going to be a little bit tight, but they might be able to edge that one out. Wolfric the Wanderer heading over to the far side objective, going to start wearing down the Nurglings, probably going to be attacking them. And by attacking them, he's going to force the Nurglings to blob up on him because the AI usually piles in. And that's when you use Burning Head. That's when you get the most damage. So you see how the AI is piling in right now? That's when you would use a fat Burning Head or like a Sea Fang, which would pretty much one-shot them and guarantee the flipping of this objective. Now, are the demons going to be responding somehow? Does not look like it. Looks like they're basically going to be letting Norsca have this objective and focusing their efforts more in the middle. Now on the other side, it looks like a nice pink fire coming down, that Exalted Lord of Change being quite problematic. Using his second charge of the Portal Glyph here, is going to be calling out some Furies from the Warp, and the Furies should be able to get back there and shut down the Javelin, so I do like that for sure. Having those Furies to kind of dive the backline of Norsca, which isn't super tanky, right? Only 15 armor, seems to be working well. Plague Bear is doing work, as expected. Exalted Plague Bears cutting through Norscan infantry in droves. I don't know where the Festering Stooges are, but I'm sure they're around somewhere. And yeah, we do see Festering Stooges up in the hill here. Definitely need to get them on the objectives and have them be fighting a little bit more focused on the point. Currently, right now, Norsca does have what appears to be a triple cap at a moment. Yeah, because they're going to be flipping the side objective. Wolfric, who let the dogs out? Well, apparently Wolfric did. As all of these Norscan Ice Wolves do feast on these Nurglings, and those bad boys are going to be sent off to the Warp to go, hang out with Grandfather in the garden. This objective, though, going to be flipping any second. Norsca is going to have a triple cap. Granted, I do feel as if, despite what you see in the value, the Demons of Chaos have a pretty good presence on the battlefield. You have to remember Festering Stooges healing, shields on Tzeentch units, and also like demon units will often, crumble and dissipate, which I don't think reflects in the value. So I guess that's something else you need to take into account. It's a little bit wonky, but we try our best. Skinwolves on their way up, and they are going to be attacking in to the Exalted Plague Bears. Not going to be a great fight for them. They do have physical resist. They love it. But the Plague Bears hit very hard against light armor. They're infantry size, so the anti-large of the Skinwolves doesn't really do much. And honestly, this Exalted Plague Bear unit, even in its beleaguered, like 15% HP state, is probably going to find a way to defeat these Skinwolves. They're going to get maybe dragged down. It'll be close. Another Plague Bear unit on its way in, and it looks like the demons are going to flip this objective. And once they flip it, I don't know if Norsca is going to have too many good tools for getting it back. We do see some Marauders coming up, and Marauders are going to get farmed all day by Plague Bears. Here we see the Condom Wolves being dragged down slowly but surely, and now the big demon push to the middle as this objective is going to be flipping, it looks like. We got the Festering Stooges there. A Burning Head attempt, but very good awareness. Demons of Chaos are not the swiftest, or I should say Nurgle demons. Other demons are. But the Festering Stooges do manage to dodge it a little bit, which is quite cost-effective, and it's going to take 10 years to remove them from that objective. It is going to be tough. Now, looking at the current points, obviously we see a big point lead for Outer Region, but I do think that the Demons of Chaos can comfortably win if they can maintain the double cap here for a while. But if they mess around too much longer, it's going to be a triple cap situation, so I'll have to watch that. So another Skinwolf comes in. Okay, that is the differentiating factor. Looks like another Skinwolf did make its way in. They also had a little bit of infantry support, so they were able to defeat the very beat-up Plague Bears with just critical mass of Monsters Troopers. And what is this? The Heralds of Khorne's Fury. Oh, I love it. So these guys are an anti-infantry cav unit. However, they still do fire damage and hit pretty hard. So in a way, the Heralds of Khorne's Fury might be able to wreck these Skinwolves. We'll see. And they do have 100 armor, which will help them against the low armor piercing of the Skinwolves. Demons of Chaos trying to hold on to this point. Looks like another pink fire coming down. Really, really good pink fire. It's such a good spell. And yeah, those Marauders are going to be fleeing off the point. Demons really, really don't want to be losing this one. Far side objective, nobody's really going for this. Looks like in the middle, Norsca managed to hold on to that one, calling it a Manticore, actually, and Wolfric as well. More Plague Bears cruising up. Fleshhounds nibbling on the Berserkers here, and they are the Hounds of the Blood Hunt. That's going to be a close fight. Berserkers are pretty stalwart in combat with 64 melee attack. That is some seriously erect stat lines for sure. So Demons do flip it. Plague Bears made their way up, and the Festering Stooges doing their thing. Over here on the side point, we do see the Heralds of Khorne's Fury trying to find a good fight. And yeah, I mean, just fighting infantry is good for them. That's what they're good at. You have a big bone. I think it's 15. Let's check. No, it's actually 18. I was close. I was in the ballpark. And they also have the Mantle of Immolation. So it's pretty cool. It applies fire weakness to all nearby units. It's actually something I didn't even know. And I usually remember most things in this game, but you don't see these guys too often. So it does add fire weakness to all nearby units, which is going to make them do 20% more damage. And also your Tzeentch demons. So that's a cool synergy. Yeah, your Tzeentch demons do fire damage. And yeah, getting it done. Exalted Lord of Change being a menace, he moves in, and the Condom Wolves, obviously not in their natural habitat. They don't want to be fighting infantry and getting shot by fire damage, and the Skinwolves are going to be showing that as they do run away here. And it looks like we're going to be approaching a triple cap situation. So the Demons of Chaos are going to have to get a triple cap, which I think they're looking like they might have a decent chance of doing it. Plague Bear is looking to be healthy. Festering Stooge is just tanking all day and doing good sustained combat damage. Even though they don't have good armor piercing, they still have high weapon strength and good combat stats. So they are grinding down these Chaos champions here. Wolfric at 2600 HP and the Ephemeral Balefiend at 2466. Another nice Seafang though, man. That AoE magic has been super, super punishing. It looks like his Tzeentch army ability going down, which is kind of strange. Oh no, he's playing Demons of Chaos. I was like, what army ability is he using here? It's probably going to be Fascination. Okay, that's the single target Tzeentch one, which I would have liked to have seen maybe on the caster on Wolfric. I think that could have been a little bit stronger. But even still, it does help melt these Marauder Horsemen, which is something that's going to be quite essential to the victory for the Demons of Chaos if they can win it. Heralds of Khorne's Fury going to be sweeping. Nurglings and Plague Bearers holding on to this objective, so it would take a considerable amount of commitment to take this down. For Norsca, middle objective is held by the Demons of Chaos as well, but Wolfric is on the hunt. If anybody can pull this game back for Outer Region, it's going to be the Hunter of Champions. And it looks like he has gotten on top of the Tzeentchian Demon, and has he used the Hunter of Champions? He has. Heralds of Khorne's Fury, as well as Fleshhounds coming on over. The big Tzeentch Demon at 3100 HP. Man, oh man, these Heralds are going to be hurting. Ephemeral Balefiend is shaken. Manticore coming in to join the party as well. Manticore is pretty good gooning characters. They hit very hard, but don't have good AP. But hey, Demons of Chaos don't really have armor, except, you know, the Heralds of Khorne's Fury. It's one of the few exceptions, them and Soul Grinders. Wolfric getting a little bit beat up by those Heralds. Fleshhounds coming in, intercepting the Marauder Horsemen reinforcements. More Fleshhounds running rampant on this battlefield. And now some little Popcorn Bandits are on the objective. So these are, oh look, it's the Frolickers Bubonic. Yeah, these are the ones with damage reflection. Okay, I really want to see them fight the Berserkers. I know they're going to lose, but I'm curious if the damage reflection will actually come into play. So we're going to watch this for a moment and see if it does, or just we'll come back. I'm going to make a mental note to try and come back and watch that for now. Oh, the unfair Javelin, though. Going to be screwing up the test a little bit. So Khornate Demons causing a lot of havoc here, man, as those Heralds of Khorne chase down the Ice Trolls. Does not look like Norsca is going to be making any play for Objective 3. Objective 2 is, of course, owned by the Demons of Chaos. And yeah, oh, this is going to be really, really close. And I'll tell you in just a second if it's going to be a triple cap situation. The Popcorn Bandits, you know, you can see the damage reflection coming into play. Javelins did help a little bit, but these guys not doing bad against Berserkers. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of these guys, the little Arwar Nurglings. Like, damage reflection is such a weird thing. I don't know. I wish, like, Thorn's builds were a little bit more effective. You know, you can see that. I know Nurgle has the Curse of the Leper, which reflects damage, and I guess I've seen it be situationally okay, but generally it seems kind of haggard. But yeah, the Fleshhounds are going to be a big problem. They're super good against the Ice Doggos. Norsca and Ice Wolves do lose the Fleshhounds head up. I mean, often it can depend on who gets the charge, but the Fleshhounds will often win in sustained combat. Wolfric getting blasted by the magic of Tzeentch. The Changer cackling into the sunset as the Heralds of Khorne's Fury going for the kill. I love it. Isn't that cool? Like the Tzeentch magic and then the Khorne Bloodhounds hunting things. Yeah, Demons of Chaos, man. They got a lot of fun stuff. So Wolfric at 200 HP. Condom Wolves coming in to try and save Wolfric. Wolfric probably will be running off the edge of the map, though. It's going to be a little bit close. I mean, he's very, very low on HP. And Heralds of Khorne's Fury will dominate these Skin Wolves. You can see they're going to be breaking as well, shattering as a matter of fact. And now the Demons are going to be piling onto this objective with pretty much all their resources, I would imagine. Like, the other ones are pretty secure. They got Chromatic Abominations, Fleshhounds here. So yeah, you got Plague Bearers coming up, playing that long, grindy game. And currently, as it stands, oh man, yeah, I think that Alls would just barely win with 2 objectives. So Norsca would have to recapture a point, which I don't see them doing at this point. But, you know, we're going to see. You know, people can make misplays. Things can happen. More doggos on their way in. So it is going to be Norsca and Ice Wolves coming to try and help this point out. Fleshhounds retreating. More Fleshhounds piling in to battle the Marauders. Should be able to chew through them pretty quickly. And I guess, you know, if the Herald of Tzeentch does go down, that could be a big momentum shift. But I don't even know. I feel like the Demons just have so much going on. Wolfric is off the battlefield. He ran away. Skin Wolf's broken. I guess you could resummon Wolfric to mitigate the leadership issues. But Norsca in general has like decent baseline leadership on their units. But yeah, you know, nobody ever wants that situation. Far side, not much going down here. Plague Bears chasing down some Marauders, or waddling after them, I should say. Waddling menacingly would be the apt description, I would say. Exalted Lord of Change going to be cruising across. Heralds of Khorne's Fury fully surrounded. These guys just going heavy metal. This is you know, exactly what the Blood God would want to see. Currently looking at their kills, sitting at 1,300 value, so they've just about paid for themselves. They're getting in the ballpark of paying for themselves, as they do pretty much tank that 3v1 full surround. And yeah, that's with the Beasts of Tashnar in there too. Beasts of Tashnar are anti-large, so their attack's really going to be saturating in. That might be the end of the Heralds of Khorne's Fury, but let's see what kind of value they got. Yeah, about 1,500 before all is said and done. Look at that, they even buckle off the Beasts of Tashnar and these Ice Wolves. Man, MLG Khorne plays. Although, I don't know, of this game, like, who really put in the most work of all the Chaos Gods? Slaanesh definitely the least. This build did not have too much Slaanesh action in it. I would say Nurgle probably, like, put in the most work. I mean, Tzeentch for sure with the Exalted Lord of Change, but those Nurgle infantry seemed to grind really well and held a lot of points, so. GG, well played. Cool to see Demons of Chaos back in the meta. Maybe it's their renaissance. Maybe they'll be back and people will be scheming with them once again. I feel like they have a ton of potential and a ton of ways you can play them, so I'm excited to see people give it a try. And the Nurgle boys, yeah, grinded as expected. Little pinks. I always find that the pinks get picked off. I struggle to protect them myself. 1,800 on Chromatic Abominations, 25 on the Bird. And we do have the doggos, of course, not getting a ton of value, actually. But yeah, flesh hounds are just always a good inclusion. And one of the kind of hidden MVPs here was the Heralds of Khorne's Fury. How cool is that? Look, in the Norscan army, Wulfric did good. Burning Head was obviously effective, but they ended up getting gooned. Skin Wolves were really not that useful in this matchup, although in theory they should be good against Flesh Hounds. But like it's a bit of an issue because maybe you have to go armored Skin Wolves to deal with Flesh Hounds, because Flesh Hounds, I think, circumvent their physical resist. Yeah, so it's going to be doing a lot of damage against them, and they're already very squishy. So, all right, guys, take care of yourselves. Hopefully you enjoyed the Demons of Chaos back on the menu, and we will see you all on the other side.